Thanks. I hate it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are not going to talk about strictly books, and we are going to talk about my reaction to the movie trailer, Can You Keep a Secret? Now lots of people might not know this, but Can You Keep a Secret is actually a movie based on the popular book by Sophie Kinsella. And Sophie Kinsella is my romantic comedy queen, and it just so happens that Can You Keep a Secret is also my favorite book. Now there's problems with my favorite books being adapted into movies because most of the times it can go horribly wrong and make me severely angry, but this movie trailer just came out and I was so excited to watch it, and when I did watch it, the reactions weren't good. The feelings weren't always positive. And today we're going to discuss the differences between the book and the movie trailer, and from what I can tell, so that you who might be wanting to watch this movie are well informed and you guys know the truth. Even though you guys can technically read the book yourselves, I'm gonna save you some time right here. So a general synopsis of Can You Keep a Secret is basically a romantic comedy about two characters named Jack Harper and Emma Corrigan.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Now, Emma Corrigan is described to be your average type of girl. She is the girl that reads horoscopes every single day because she wants to know how her day is going to turn out and possibly next month. And she wears thrifted clothes because she can't afford this season's new style. But her thrifted clothes aren't super hipster chic and more drabby chic, but she's relatable. And she also feels very inferior either in the workplace or even at home. So in the workplace, she's constantly being put past for promotion, so she's never promoted from her junior role. And then she feels inferior at home because her parents tend to praise her cousin's successes more than her successes, because she feels like that she doesn't really have that many successes in the first place, and she just doesn't feel that great about herself. She has low self-esteem. So she's someone that you can probably relate to.
Inimitable Jack Harper.
Jack Harper is this super successful CEO. He started an energy drink company with his longtime best friend. A tragedy happened and he had to fly back to the UK to take care of the UK branch office. Emma and Jack meet on the plane when Emma drinks one too many free complimentary champagnes, and then they experience some turbulence, and all of a sudden Emma's freaking out and thinking that she's going to die, and she spills all her secrets to Jack Harper.
I don't think that I've ever really been in love. I don't even know if I have a G-spot.
Without knowing that Jack is actually the CEO of the company that she works for, and that he's going to show up on Monday morning. So it goes without saying that Can You Keep a Secret is one of my favorite novels out there. It is my favorite romantic comedy, and it will be my #1 recommendation for people who are just starting out into the romantic comedy genre. It's a book that really grounds me. I reread this book maybe 6 times in the past however many years I've been reading Sophie Kinsella, and I always make sure to reread it at least once a year. And if I never read it this year, I'm definitely going to schedule more time to reread it, because it's a book that makes me feel safe, and it makes me feel like I belong in society, and it makes me also feel like that, you know, good things are going to happen and they're going to come my way just when I think I'm down on my luck. So when the news broke out that another Sophie Kinsella book was going to be adapted into a movie, I completely freaked out, and of course it was Can You Keep a Secret?
And I was screaming, and everything was on fire. Children were crying, I was dying, and it was very dramatic.
Until they kind of released the casting news, and I was like, oh, we're gonna do this now. So if you guys don't know, Emma Corrigan is actually being played by Alexandra Daddario. Okay, so I can't really say her last name, but if you guys are not too familiar with her works, she kind of broke out onto the big screens with this mega popular series called Percy Jackson, and she most recently, her works include Baywatch. So she's clearly gorgeous. She is definitely a girl that I would want to look like and want to be, because her face, her eyes, her body is just mind-blowingly gorgeous. So when she was cast as Emma Corrigan, I was just kind of like, okay, but she's not really like relatable beauty because it's like something that you have to be born with to have, and I don't feel like I can be born with Alexandra's beauty. Like, or I can have Alexandra's beauty if I just tried to contour my face hard enough, if that makes sense. Judging from the movie trailer, it does seem that they're trying their best to fit Alexandra into the role of Emma. I mean, they're always constantly fitting her in what appears to be very baggy clothes, very baggy blazers, very off-season colors, like just outfits that kind of make you go,
oh honey, is that what you're gonna wear?
You know, like comments like that, and I appreciate it, so we'll see. But also, judging from the trailer, her acting is a little it kind of does look like she never graduated from the Percy Jackson phase, where you have to do like a lot of like wide-eyed facial expressions and a lot of yelling to get your point across. So I'm a little bit nervous about Alexandra's acting in this one. Now, for Jack Harper, when I was reading the novels, I had a phase because I was reading it 6 times or rereading it 6 times, or I read it 6 times already, where Jack Harper was actually imagined in my head to be Robert Downey Jr. Now you guys might going like, but like, Lisa, why? Robert Downey Jr. is not like he's old now, you know? But I had an Iron Man phase going on, and if you guys don't know, this book actually takes place in the UK, so everybody has a British accent, and Jack is born in America, so he's the one with a crisp, dry American accent that makes Emma's heart flutter. So Robert Downey Jr. is a perfect fit because he's American, and also because Jack Harper has a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor. Like, he's often so funny and sarcastic and witty that like when I'm reading the novel, I always constantly laugh. And if that is not the character of Tony Stark, then I don't know what character it is, because yeah, they casted like anybody. Like, I didn't really care who they were casting for Jack Harper as long as they were hot. So they casted Tyler Hoechlin, I don't know how to say his last name too, as well. And if you guys don't know, he starred in Teen Wolf, and that was basically the only piece of work that I know he starred in afterwards. I don't know what he did after Teen Wolf died, but yeah, he looks hot. He fits the image because he has the gruff beard that Jack tends to have, and he looks hot. So I'm okay with it. Like, his acting's not like troublesome yet from the trailer.
You'd have any woman.
Yeah, but I want you.
That was so douchey.
So you must be going like, Lisa, so far so good. I mean, you seem like you're okay with the choices for Emma and for Jack. You know, what is there to complain about? Well, there are some major differences that I feel like you guys should know if you guys never read the book. First of all, the book takes place in the UK, and if I remember correctly, it's probably Britain. So everybody's supposed to have a British accent, and then you have Jack coming in with an American accent. And if you watch the trailer, everybody has an American accent, and I kind of understand this because, hey, guess what? It sells better if you can understand what the person is saying, if the humor is Americanized, if the settings are Americanized, and whatnot. So yeah, I get it. It's the way how movies are created, but just an FYI for those who don't know. The second thing is that what I was talking about before during the synopsis, there is hardly ever mention of Emma's like cousin. So Emma's cousin was kind of like a driving point of why she feels so low about herself and why she has such low self-esteem. And from the trailer, there is no mention of the cousin, and she's just feeling bad about herself because she can feel bad about herself, which is kind of like defeats the whole purpose of why I like the book. It's an underdog story about someone who doesn't believe that someone else can achieve, and then they prove themselves and prove to everyone else that she can do a lot of great things and she has a lot of great ideas. So that kind of really ruins the whole emotional aspect of the movie for me, I guess, if they don't include it. So hopefully they try to mention her. But I also get kind of annoyed if they do one of those like passive mentions, like where, you know, like you're talking on the phone with someone and it's like, oh yeah, like how's so-and-so, and then they call it a day. So we're gonna see how that plays out.
Clean up your desk.
What? You're firing me?
And then there's this like random firing scene happening where Emma appears to get fired because of her relationship with the CEO or with something. And it doesn't happen in the book, first of all. So she never gets fired. But even in the book, I feel readers would know that that shit would not fly, because our idea of a CEO and you liking the CEO is that your job is protected. You kind of have that safety net that the CEO will come and save you. So for her to get fired in a book doesn't make sense, because most likely the author will write the CEO protecting her. And by the way, in the book, Sophie Kinsella does write the fact that like Jack is always favoring her over other employees and always listening to her ideas over other people's ideas. So there's that. And then in the movie context, wouldn't the CEO still save her anyways? Like, what? What kind of like hero are you if you can't even save the girl from unemployment? Doesn't make sense. And also there's like this other aspect of the book and the movie is that Emma actually starts off in a relationship. So she starts off in a relationship with her boyfriend and she's doing really well with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's actually nothing like the guy in the trailer.
I'm everything a woman could want.
I perform. Wink.
He's rich, he's successful, he's a senior role member in the company as I think in the advertising department, and he's smart and he looks like a Ken doll. And that's like one of the problems Emma has, is because that he might be too handsome for her.
Choo choo.
But regardless, so he looks nothing like that. And I guess what happened was that America wanted a comedic factor, and they just so happened to sacrifice this character and make him look like a dork, like some guy who doesn't wear his pants and brings in breakfast, some guy that like brags to other people that he has sex in front of her boss. So keep that in mind, because it's kind of like, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that they kind of ruined such a good character, because there was nothing wrong with him. Like he was still very sweet and still very attentive, even though after like she broke up with him, because it was just really like her, like it was her having an issue with the relationship, and it wasn't because of him that made her feel that she wasn't belonging. It was just her falling out of love.
This isn't working out.
So if you guys aren't too familiar with Sophie Kinsella's work, Sophie Kinsella's book, Confessions of a Shopaholic, was actually her first book that got turned into a movie. So this is actually her second book. And Confessions of a Shopaholic was a movie that I watched first before reading the book. I know, shocking. I'm a rebel. But I liked both of them, even though that they were completely different from each other. So I read the novel afterwards and I realized the amount of differences was staggering. Like they could have been completely different things and they only shared the same name. It was that bad. But if you liked Confessions of a Shopaholic movie, there's probably no doubt that you'll probably like Can You Keep a Secret, because it's a romantic comedy and usually things don't really go too wrong with that unless they change the plot and the storyline to the point where it's kind of like, okay, this is kind of dumb and it's not really that funny, then yeah, then it goes downhill from there. But the main question I guess everybody's asking me is that, okay, so Lisa, this is your favorite book. You kind of like trash talked it the whole video. Would you still watch the movie? And the answer is yes, I would still watch the movie. And the reason why is because that romantic comedies is a dying genre that is starting to become a revival. Like we're in the phase where romantic comedies are starting to be produced again. So no longer we're having our thrillers or our like superhero movies or our horror movies. We're back in the genre where we thrive in romance. And I feel like that as a romance reader and a romantic comedy watcher, I should support every movie that comes out within my genre, as long as I'm interested and as long as the trailer interests me. So this one does, and that's why I'm gonna go watch it regardless. Maybe I'll end up hating it. Maybe I'll like Alexandra later. Maybe I'll hate Alexandra's acting more. Maybe I'll fall in love with Tyler. Maybe I'll find a Jack Harper in the movie theater. We don't know. But until next time, I'll see you again. And if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Bye!
Can't let you go. I can't let you go.